So I'm here with Lauren from Stan. And so what we're going to do today is walk through the tools. And I say that on purpose. There's multiple tools built into Stan, and explain exactly how to best use them and who they're best fit for. And Lauren is the perfect person to walk us through this. So first of all, how are you, Lauren?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Can't complain. I'm excited to see Stan from an expert's perspective.
Yes, that's a lot of pressure, but yeah, I'm excited to walk everyone through it. Hi everyone. I'm Lauren. I'm on the Stan team. I'm a creator partnerships manager, so I work with all of our ambassadors. So I basically teach folks how to maximize their success on the platform. So
Sweet.
Excited to be walking everyone through kind of what Stan is and also what it can do for you. So I thought first things first, I'd give just like a little bit of context about Stan, kind of how we got started and like what it is in a more general sense. And then we can kind of get into the nitty gritty of the platform. That sounds good?
Sounds perfect.
Beautiful. So mini history lesson on Stan. Stan was started by our founder, John. He's actually a creator himself. So our whole motto is made for creators by creators. He started creating content, during the pandemic, tale as old as time at this point. And when he was growing his audience and his community, he realized that it was really hard to have kind of a place where you can, sell one-to-ones, like start to actually monetize your content, build an email list, do everything in one spot. He found it to be really expensive and really confusing. So he was like, I'll build it myself. And that's what he did. And once he did that, he was like, oh, I think that other people could benefit from this platform as well. So we are truly built from, his experience as a creator, and then everyone who's come after him and been like, hey, I think you guys would benefit from adding this to the platform. It's really a platform that's built by creators, as I mentioned. So I always like to give that little history because I think it's kind of a cool story of how we got started. But gonna just jump into sharing my screen here super quickly and showing you guys actually what Stan looks like. So you have a better understanding of like, oh, okay, this is what she's talking about here. So Stan is an all-in-one creator storefront. It's in the form of a link in bio. So this little guy up here, that's literally what Stan is. And that's what you would put on your social profiles, maybe an Instagram bio, maybe the description of a YouTube video, wherever it is you're building community online. So that's really what Stan is. It's just that link there. The difference between Stan and maybe other link in bios out there, or just having a website, is that you can actually host your products and offerings and services all under one roof. So many times I get folks asking, hey, Lauren, I have a Linktree, or I've heard of Linktree. Like, why would I start paying for Stan when I could maybe, use a platform that's free? Well, Linktree is wonderful, right? It's a great place to link all of your things in one spot. What Linktree is it's like if you walked into a home and it wasn't furnished at all. It has great walls, beautiful, but you have to add everything. You have to go out and buy all the things you need for a home. Stan, you walk in and like it's fully furnished. It's all there. You don't have to add anything. You just upload your products and it's done for you. So that's kind of like the analogy that I like to use, is that you don't have to start up all these third-party platforms. It's all done for you. So I want to pause and see if, Ben, you want me to elaborate on anything before I kind of get started into the different products on Stan.
No, and that's super helpful to know. And I love that analogy because it obviously makes it very easy to understand. But as a creator, having gone through the same journey myself, I can think about all the different tools that I've used and how much that added up in terms of expenses, and also overwhelm of having to learn another new tool. So yes, having it all in one place can definitely be awesome. So I'm excited to show everyone how that can all live and your whole creator business can be in one place.
Yeah, totally. I think this is like the part of being a creator that no one really thinks about. It's like, okay, let me like start making content and like rock and roll there. And then it's like, oh, what? Now I have to do this whole other side of the business. That's what we're trying to make easier for folks. So I want to walk through this page here. This is our product page, so that if you ever chose to go into Stan and set it up yourself, you're not just like wildly confused as to where to start. Obviously, knowledge is power. So I want everyone to understand like, oh, this is exactly how I would use all of these features. And you can kind of pick and choose which one would make sense for you. So first things first, you have the ability to collect emails and leads. This is our lead magnet feature. If someone's like, What's a lead magnet? This is basically an opportunity for you to collect folks who are interested in your products or offerings, but they're not yet paying customers. So this is like a freebie, one might say. So in exchange for someone's name and email, you are giving them a free product, whether it's just like quick tips and tricks, a story of how you got started. It doesn't need to be anything elaborate, but it's super simple. You set everything up in Stan in the order in which your audience will see it. So you make the thumbnail first, and then you would upload the product, and then you're all set to go. You can also even edit things like the confirmation emails. So every stage of kind of the customer journey and touch point that they have with Stan, you have full control over. So that's our lead magnet feature. Digital downloads is next, and this is like the bread and butter of when everyone refers to passive income. This is what they mean. Digital downloads is how you do that. The term is thrown around a lot, and I always like to pause and talk about the difference between passive income and active income. Passive income, something like a digital download, you spend time making a course, an ebook once. I'm going to sit down, I'm going to do it. Awesome, it's done. I upload it. And then whether someone buys this, tomorrow or in 2 years, I continue to make money from it. If you're offering one-to-ones, you're actively talking to people, booking meetings. That's the difference there. So both are wonderful. This one obviously has just gained a lot of popularity because it's less maintenance. And so that's what folks mean when they refer to that term. And that's why I mentioned that this is like the easiest way to get going with passive income there. So again, you're setting it up in the exact same order that your audience will see it. You have a few different options as to how big you want the button to be. I always recommend flipping between buttons and callouts. I feel like it makes sense to have like kind of some diversity in what the buttons look like so they don't all look the same. Just that's kind of personal preference though. On the checkout page, this also can be known as like the sales page. You can add videos, photos, an opportunity for someone to learn more about the product before they purchase it. And then you'd set the price here, all that good info. You can even add like some questions here at the bottom. Maybe you want to ask like, where did you find this product, or what platform are you coming from? You can ask those questions down here. And then you have the option to either upload the file or redirect to a URL. I have some folks who they're like, hey, Lauren, I make, social media guides and I have to update them once a quarter. How would I do that? This is a great way to do that, right? So it's like an active link that's continuously being updated versus just one, PDF. So that's our digital downloads. Next, we have one-to-ones, which are wonderful. I use our one-to-ones feature every single day. You connect your Stan account with your Google Calendar. That way your Google Calendar and Stan can talk to each other so that when someone goes to book with you, it basically reads your availability from your calendar to make sure you aren't double booked. That way it also populates on your calendar so you know when, the meeting is taking place. And it sends an invite to the person who booked with you. So you don't need to chase anybody down and do that. I think this is the most critical feature where you'd probably want to ask questions, right? What are you struggling with? What do you want to talk about on the call? A lot of times people don't know this exists, and I feel like it's great to ask those questions if you are doing one-to-ones up front so that you kind of get on there and maximize everybody's time. So one-to-ones, again, pretty straightforward. You would also set your availability in here too. Trying to figure out where you do that. You do it right here. So you would decide, how long you want the meeting to be, when you want to be able to take meetings. So if on here, you only want to do it in the mornings, then obviously that's the only time that, your link would be shown as available. So those are our one-to-ones. Again, you decide the location of where you want them to be.
Sweet.
Next, we have our custom product feature. I love our custom product feature, and a lot of times folks are like, wait, Lauren, I don't really know what this feature is, or I don't really know what this means. If anyone's ever heard of like Cameo or used it before, where you can like request Beyonce to sing happy birthday to you, like it's the same idea, except like you're Beyonce in this case. So this feature I like to describe as a hybrid between our digital downloads and our one-to-ones, because it's personalized, but it's not live. So what I mean by that is, say, for example, Ben is offering like Instagram audits, and he's like, I'm going to help you grow your followers and help you out with that. And I'm like, hey, Ben, I'm stuck at 500 followers. I don't know what to do next. Can you take a look at my page and get back to me with like a strategy? So then Ben goes, okay, yeah, awesome. So what I would do is I would fill this out, right? You're almost like submitting a request. So Ben would set the price. He would also ask me specific questions. How many followers do you have? Where are you trying to grow? What are you struggling with? Whatever the case may be. I pay that and submit it to him. Then on Ben's time, he goes in and like fulfills the order in whichever format he chooses. So if he wants to like respond back with like a video where he's like, hey, Lauren, this is what I'd recommend. Or again, maybe he just does a quick PDF. Lots of flexibility with this feature. You can use it in a lot of different ways. So again, I really love this feature, and I think it's great for someone doing audits or any type of like personalized work. Because again, it allows you to be a little bit more specific than like a general digital download. But also if you're like, I don't have the capacity to hop on a bunch of calls, this is a great kind of middle ground there.
That's awesome.
Yeah. We also have a courses product. I know courses can be like an intimidating term to folks. We're like, oh my gosh, building a course, it sounds like so much work, but we break it down in a way that hopefully makes it a little bit less scary. And honestly, if you have a lot of content or digital downloads that you've created over the years, maybe you've done this a while, I bet you could probably turn that into a course and maybe just do some recordings of yourself, kind of walking folks through that and just positioning it in a way that walks people through the whole course process and story. But we've broken it out into modules and then lessons within each module. So it's not like you're starting from scratch. You can always preview the course as well. So obviously it doesn't look too exciting yet, but you'll be able to see kind of, what your students will see as well. And then, again, you can edit the confirmation emails and all that good stuff. I'll get into a few more of the bells and whistles later on when I talk about our creator plan versus our pro plan.
Sure.
But those are our courses. And then reoccurring memberships are great. This is a great way to have income, coming in month over month. It's consistent. I know that's a big thing for creators and community builders, is wanting that consistency. And I think a feature or a product like this is a great way to have that. So you can charge folks monthly, daily, weekly, whatever your heart desires. You can decide how often they're charged, if you want it to be ongoing or that gets canceled after a few months. And then maybe through this, they get access to your Facebook community where you're posting daily updates and trending sounds or whatever the heck it is. This is how you would charge them to get access to that. And then in that handy dandy confirmation email is where you would probably link out the access to that community, wherever that may be. And then last but not least, we have our webinar feature. So if you ever wanted to do like a group coaching call, any sort of webinar panel, you can charge folks or have it free. So this is a live ticketed event. Again, you would sync Zoom or Google Meets. That's where the location would take place. And as soon as people register, they would get the meeting information and how to join the webinar. Again, you don't have to track everybody down and do that. So that's the webinar feature there. Then we also, of course, have the capacity to add external links. So if you're like, hey, Lauren, I have an Amazon storefront. I have a product that I've built elsewhere. Totally fine. Of course, you can, just link that in the external link here, where it's just the product isn't hosted on Stan, right? They're not paying for it through this platform. It's just hosted elsewhere, or it's just, an affiliate link or something else. So that's kind of an overview of all the products. Ben, anything you think I should add there or clarify?
So the question that I think someone might have is, if they build a course through Stan, how are the purchasers of that course accessing that later to see the content?
Yeah, really good question. So they're going to create like a course login, basically. So maybe they're not like a full-blown Stan user, but they're going to take the course. You'll actually be able to track the progress of all your students, and then they'll be prompted to create a username and password so that they can come back in later on and finish the course.
And so they can access that on their laptop or their phone, whatever?
Yep. Both laptop and phone. Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Yeah, I think that's the only major question that I had. Everything else is pretty straightforward. And yeah, you got a lot of flexibility here to really build out a business, which I think is the biggest thing that creators struggle with. So obviously that's why Stan's here.
Yeah. No, that was a great question. And everything that you see on this page here, I want to get into our two different plans, so that you know kind of like the cost with Stan and like where we stand with that. So everything, again, as you see on this page, is included in the creator plan, and that's $29 a month. We take a 0% transaction fee. Stan does not take any of that. There are some small fees associated with Stripe and PayPal, but that is quite literally how you get paid, and that's to be expected with kind of any payment providers there. But yeah, it's a flat rate of the $29. I urge everyone to start with that so that you can kind of like set a good foundation, set all your products up, decide on the prices. The pro plan is really designed for you to kind of up level those products, to market those products, to upsell other ones. And so our pro plan is at $99 a month. Reason being is two main things. It's because it includes our funnels and also our email flows, and then a few other things as well. So quickly taking a peek at our email flows, there's two different options that you have here. There's flows and there's also broadcasts. Broadcasts are designed to be almost like an announcement or like a newsletter, right? It's like a one-time thing, like, you know, here's a sale going on or a new product dropped or what have you. And you can decide who amongst your audience you want to send this to. Maybe you collected all these leads and you want to do like a flash sale for your course for all of them. It's like 30% off. It'd be an awesome way to kind of upsell them on that through our email broadcast feature. And then flows are awesome because ideally they make your life way easier. You would name a flow, you would decide what product this flow is going to be triggered by. You're going to select create. And then all you're going to do is add your emails in here. And once you do that, anytime a purchase happens from this product, someone is going to get these emails for, you know, the following few weeks or months or however long the campaign is set up for. So it automates a lot of the work for you. And I know email marketing is becoming like even bigger now, and it's such like an important part of being a creator. But I hear from folks all the time of like, this is a huge pain point. I'm connecting to all these different platforms. I don't really know how to do it. It seems like a big pain. This hopefully makes it a little bit easier for you, because even if it's just one or two follow-ups, it's still building that relationship with your audience and increasing the likelihood of them being a returning customer, right? Versus just purchasing something from you once and then not really fostering that relationship with them from there on out. So that's our email flow feature. Anything I should clarify on this front?
So the one question that I had was, when people receive these emails using Stan, what is the email they're being sent from?
Yeah, that's a good question. So the email address is generated by our email flow system. So it's not like an exact, it's not their exact address, but we've heard nothing but good things of like, oh, it's still going to their inbox, because I know that's like a concern for folks. Is it going to junk mail or anything like that? So it's slightly altered, but our product team has worked super hard in making sure that the delivery rates remain solid.
And so it says that it's from, so if it was me, it would say like from Ben Levitt kind of thing?
Yeah. Like it'd have your name in there. There's just a little bit of like an adjustment at the end, but it wouldn't be like a random email address. They would see your username. Okay,
awesome. Yes. So they know who it's coming from. They know that it's someone they know, like, and trust. And I think really important to stress with this tool right here is, a lot of creators, they're so focused on growth all the time that they miss out on the nurturing piece of bringing someone along the path to becoming a very valuable customer. And tools like this can just make that happen for you on autopilot. So you set this up once, you focus on creating content, and this is now building out a system to bring people closer and closer down your funnel. So yeah, email marketing is massive, and automation is your friend. So I love to see that Stan has that.
Absolutely. And I think I hear from so many people like, oh, you know, Lauren, well, I don't really have any like products yet. And like, I don't even really know what I want to sell. And I don't even have that many followers. And I'm like, I'm so glad you're here, because you can set up a freebie. You can literally start with just collecting emails. I know you're not making money yet. Obviously the goal is to make money on here, but like, imagine I talk to people all the time and they've grown to like 50,000 followers and they're like, I don't have these people's information.
Yeah,
I don't even
now?
know exactly what my product is going to be yet, which listen, it's a good problem to have, right? But if you start with collecting everyone who's interested, you can build your product alongside your audience. You can ask them, what are you looking for? What do you want to hear more about? You're creating demand as you're growing, so that when you launch a product, it's actually probably more successful than someone who like has a ton of followers and just kind of is almost working backwards. So I don't want anyone to think they're like behind, or just because you don't have a product yet. There's still a lot of ways to make sure that you're successful down the road here.
So can someone start a Stan account just to collect emails for free? Like, is that a thing?
So we don't have a free option.
Okay.
Unfortunately, it is just the creator and the creator pro. Those are fixed amounts though. So even if like your email list grows a ton,
there's no extra expenses.
No extra expenses there. So, you know, yeah, ideally you're launching something, you know, within the first bit of you having that Stan store, but still think that, yeah, if day one you don't have something quite ready, still good to even create like a wait list. Like you can use this feature to make like a wait list. So you're like, you'll be the first to know, you know, when it launches.
Yeah.
Yep. And then you can blast all those people.
Yeah, absolutely. Capturing emails that's probably one of my biggest regrets as a creator, is not doing that earlier, because I made exactly what you were describing about, where it's like, oh, you have X amount of followers, then you have no way of contacting them besides content, and that doesn't necessarily get shown to everyone, whereas an email, it's going right to their inbox. So yeah, start that as soon as you can if you're going to be a creator.
Yeah, no, I think it's a great piece of advice, a learning curve for many folks.
All of us.
Yeah, so that's our email flows feature. And then quickly just want to touch on funnels, another feature of Pro. So funnels I love. As you can see, I have like 97 funnels in here. But funnels are basically an opportunity for you to upsell your products. The best way I like to describe a funnel is like, we've all online shopped before, and like say you're on a website and you have a pair of jeans in your cart. And you're like, awesome, I'm gonna get these jeans. And then you go to checkout and they're like, are you sure you don't want this shirt for $15? It's normally $30. And you're like, what the hey? Sure, like why not? That's literally what funnels are. It's an opportunity for someone to buy a product from you and then basically show them another sales page as like a one-time offer, today only discount, which works really well for folks. You know, when people are already in a buying mentality, odds are like, sure, they're going to buy something else, especially when they think like, oh my gosh, I'm never going to have this, you know, offer again. So this is like what the second page of your funnel can look like. This is the text that just auto populates in there. You can make it whatever you want to be, but this is what would emerge after they, you know, bought the first product from you, or they just put their name and email in as like a lead magnet. And maybe as a thank you for putting that in, you wanted to offer like 30% off another one of your products, right? So that's really what our funnels are for. A note on funnels though, when you build, wasn't kidding, I really do have
you got a ton.
I have a lot. When you are building a funnel, you actually build it in this funnel home. And then if you want to bring it over to your store, you're actually going to copy the funnel link, go to your store, and add it as an external link. So you would put it in right here in the URL, and then you would publish it there. So we do that so that, say you have, like, for example, I have all these calls. Well, I don't want to have like 90 calls on my Stan store. So instead, they're kind of just operating as these like mini private landing pages where you can also completely customize the URL, which is my favorite part, because there's nothing worse than copying something and have it be like a bunch of janky letters at the end. You can totally customize it so it looks like your own kind of like personalized website. So if you wanted to ever invoice someone, you have like different client meetings. So this is a really cool way to customize those. And again, not have them be accessible to everyone on your store. So you can't turn a product into a funnel. You have to build it as a funnel and then add it to your product page. So I always like to let people know that from the beginning. So that is our funnel feature. Anything I should clarify here?
No, yeah, that's super important to note that you add it to the product that you're building. And I think that as someone who, I'm even in this creator space and I still buy upsells all the time. So like, it's definitely worth taking advantage of this. And you're so right. Once someone has made the initial decision to say, yes, I'm going to buy from this person or this store, there's so much, they're way higher prime to buy more. So absolutely, if you can give them more value at a good rate, then definitely take advantage, because you're going to make way more money.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's also where our order bumps come in too. This is also some of the pro features. So again, the pro features are really designed like once you have the products, upselling, marketing, really, again, maximizing your success and sales on Stan. I love our order bump feature. It's kind of the same idea as a funnel. It's just in one page versus two. So you can turn this on and select any offerings that you have, and folks are going to basically purchase two things under one transaction. It's really a win-win. They're getting this, offer, and then you're making two sales. Something that folks ask me about is they're like, hey, Lauren, I'm bumping this product that's already on my store. How could I actually make it like a true one-time discount? Like I don't just want to list something else on my store. And to that, I would say, great question. What you can do is actually bump a landing page. Now, landing pages, again, similar idea to funnels. It's just not multi-steps. It's just one product that isn't visible on your main storefront. So I also do a lot of examples with landing pages, but also have a ton in here. I promise I don't have like 100 products. But what you can do here is have a product live on your store. So I have this product right here. And then what I could do is I could go make landing page. So now it's not visible on my store, but it's visible probably all the way at the bottom. It's a course right here. This is it right here. So again, if you're like, I want to do one-to-ones, but I only want to give access to folks in my email list, or I want to bump a product and you set the landing page price as like $30 and then the price on your page is $50, bump that one, right?
Okay.
And then when they go in, they're like, oh, this is $20 cheaper. Heck yeah, I'm going to purchase that. So hopefully that makes sense there. And then I'm trying to think of any of that. We also have payment plans on our pro feature as well. Yeah. And a few, we also have an affiliate link feature too with the pro plan. So if you ever wanted to create a product, share it with other folks who are going to market it, and you want to give them a cut, this is a great way to do that. That's a pro feature. And then also doing like discount codes and limiting the quantity. Again, just like sales techniques.
Yeah.
Those are all included in pro as well.
That's sweet. Yeah, because affiliate marketing is massive, and usually other tools that have that feature, they're usually very, very expensive. So that's cool to see that that's accessible, because that's a great way to sell. If you have a great product and people who are happy about it, they'll spread the word for you for sure. Especially if they can make a few bucks, like it's a no-brainer.
Absolutely. And a note too on that affiliate feature, if they are going to be selling the product, they do need to have a Stan account, because that is how we pay them, or else we would have no way of, tracking down their information to get them paid out. But they can sign up through the user. And I just wanted to point out that every single person who makes a Stan account automatically has an affiliate link that's generated with their store. And what's unique about our referral system is that anyone who, or not anyone, excuse me, or I should say anyone who uses your affiliate link to sign up, you're earning that 20% in perpetuity. It's not 6 months, it's not a year. So if Ben signs up through me and he's on Stan for the next 5 years, I consistently make that income month over month. So that's like true passive income, right? Because you're not even like marketing anything. They've just signed up and then you have a pocket of earnings here. So they can sign up through your affiliate link. We also have a really easy integration where you can just click this and it adds it automatically to your store.
Okay. So just to clarify that, so if someone wants to become an affiliate for my product, they have to be a paying member of Stan, or they just need a Stan account?
Correct. They would need, so they're kind of two in and of the same, because to have a Stan account, you are a paying member, since we don't have a free option.
So even people that take my course, they also have to make a Stan account too, but they're not paying for. Did I understand that incorrectly?
So if someone pays to take your course, they have their own like course login. So that they paid for the course, they have access to that. They're all set. If someone wants to sell a product that is yours, like if you created a Instagram growth guide and you had an affiliate link for 30%, and then I wanted to sell that guide on your behalf, well, I would need to add it to my Stan store, because in order for us to track those sales and for me to get the 30% cut, it would need to be through Stan, if that makes sense.
No, that makes complete sense. That clarifies everything for me. Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, no, of course. Any other questions before I kind of get into like Stan store best practices?
I guess the first thing I'd say is, who do you find has the most success, and like why do they have? I guess that kind of is what you're going to cover here. But like, who are the people that have the most success using Stan?
It's a really good question. I think it varies a lot. We have a lot of different niches. We actually were just talking about this as a team. We have, folks in the fitness space. We have folks who just have a really specific niche, and they've made like download on how to succeed in that niche, or how to do the same. A lot of the creators that I work with are in kind of the coaching space, right? Their audience isn't just trying to consume their content, they're also trying to like replicate it, and sharing tools and ways that they've been successful online. But really, the sky's the limit. I think the common denominator with all of it is the people who are most successful, their product meets a need that their audience has. It answers a question, it fulfills something that they're curious about, and they use their content to kind of display that need and find people who have that similar need and have that similar question, and they do a good job of marketing it in their content, of being like, hey, this is what my content's about. If you want to learn more, if you want the full story, if you want to do this too, this is the product that I created. So I hope that's helpful.
Yeah, and you guys also do an awesome job of helping Stan users come up with products to actually create and then sell. So like, what is your advice in, I know it's usually you give a lot more time here, but like how do people go about figuring out what is actually in demand? Because I know that is a massive problem for creators. Like, I don't want to spend weeks building this and no one wants it.
I'm so glad you asked this, because that's exactly, yes. Like you don't want to put your blood, sweat, and tears into something and then, have it not sell. I think you want to use your audience to your advantage, right? Again, even if it's not thousands of people yet, whoever is in your community, whoever you're marketing to, first of all, build that community. Spend time building trust. You don't just want to come out of the gate selling, because it's like, whoa, like that's a lot. So spend time finding your niche. That might be a little trial and error. What do you have to bring to the table, right? Because that's what being a creator is. Everyone has some value that they're bringing to the table. It's just how you're marketing it and how you're showcasing that to your community. once you've found a group of folks who, maybe your niche is you're in the fashion space and you're helping other folks build their dream wardrobe. Okay, you're a stylist. So I'd probably start creating content about that. And then somewhere along that, when you're building the trust with your audience, then you're going to start to ask, what do you guys want to learn more about? What questions do you have for me? Where are you struggling in building your own wardrobe, or whatever the questions are? And then I think the most successful products have been really hyped up and marketed well, of like, hey, you guys, next month, I'm actually starting my 21-day stylist mentorship group. And, for $5 a day, you can come in, you're going to walk away knowing exactly all the things you need to become the best stylist out there. And I'm going to help you maximize your potential, or whatever it may be. People are getting excited. Maybe you have a wait list, and then boom, launch day. Like, people have heard of this product before. They're excited about this product. And ideally you already have like a list of people who you can go, hey, you get this for $40. For everyone else, it's actually $75. But since you came in, from the jump, from the beginning, I really wanted to offer this price, to you. So I would just really say leverage your audience. And like, even if you're building a course, like, build it alongside them. Maybe you drip out the course where you do 2 modules and you're like, what do you want module 3 to be on? Like, that's what I'm going to build this for. Like, the more interactive, the better, because then they feel like their voice is being heard and that you're doing something for them, right? You're adding value for them versus just being like, you need this. It's like, oh, you're solving this problem for me.
Absolutely. And they're far more connected to it, and you're actually giving them exactly what they want rather than trying to guess. I think that's a big thing that creators of courses typically do, is they try to guess. And that's brilliant that you don't have to. Like, you can literally do it alongside them. They're going to fall deeper into your community, and they're helping you build a product that actually solves the pain points of that person. 2 tools that I found really successful to get the pulse on your audience and what they're looking for is lives. Lives are huge. And then also emails. So like, the benefit of, say, capturing emails with Stan is that you have that one-on-one contact where you can say, hey, I'm building a course. Would you prefer this, or this? Like, reply back or like contact me for what you'd want. That stuff is invaluable. So yeah, that's gold, Lauren. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, no, of course. So I'm going to actually pull up a new screen here super quickly. Sure. And we're going to hop into this. Okay, so want to show everyone this page here, just because it outlines things in a really easy capacity, a super digestible way. I think one of the most frequently asked questions I get is, okay, Lauren, I have a Stan store. Where do I start? What should I sell? What should I price things at? What do I do? I like to give people this kind of mentality because I found that it's really helpful for you and also for your audience in deciding what you want to sell and how you want to price things. I like for folks to break things up into 3 different categories. If your low ticket products, your middle ticket products, and your high ticket products. So low ticket is going to be like 1 to 10, maybe even 1 to 5, or free. It's either a lead magnet or it's a way to kind of reel folks in, find those paying customers, and then market to them your higher ticket products later on. Middle ticket is roughly like $30 to $80. High ticket is $100 plus. These can fully fluctuate. If those aren't your rates, of course, adjust as necessary. But this is just kind of like a loose framework to work with, mainly so that when you're building something, you have the product falling in one of 3 categories. It's not just like, where do I price this? There's so many numbers out there. It's like, oh, okay, I feel like I'm building this mini course and it's definitely not low ticket, but I don't think it's like $100 plus. Okay, cool. I'm thinking this is gonna be like 45, right in the middle of like the middle ticket range. So this helps you. It also tremendously helps your audience. I don't want to go onto your Stan store and see like 4 things at $12 because I'm going to be like, I have no idea what I'm going to buy first. It's like going to the store and needing something and there being like all these brands. You're just kind of like overwhelmed. It gives folks decision fatigue. You should have a very clear cadence in your products and almost like customer journey, where if I go on and I see I have an $8, a $50, and a $200, I know exactly what I'm supposed to buy first. I know that there's two things left for me to come back to later. It's like, I always describe it, your products are like a ladder. The first step should be very obvious, and so should the last. And then in between is where you do the marketing. So I've taken the first step. Well, then I'm going to market you my $50 product. I've done the 50. Okay, then I'm going to market you my 200. And that's kind of the process there. So for setting up your store, as I already mentioned, a lead magnet is a great way to go. Collecting those emails, right from the start. And then once you've done that, I think doing something in the low ticket range is great, because also it allows you to assess the pulse of your audience. How did folks like that? How did they respond to that? Was that a good format? Before you go like all out and you make like a $300 course, and worst comes to worst, it maybe isn't doing quite as well as you had hoped. Well, that's a lot to pivot, and that was a lot of time and effort you spent into that. This is lower stakes for you and your audience, and based on the feedback, could allow you to build something then in the middle or high ticket range.
Absolutely. I think it's why I love how you framed the ladders, because I think a lot of people get so stuck on what the top part of the ladder is going to look like. And it's like, you don't have to have that right now. Like, you could build the first and then the second, and then based on the feedback that you get from those, what do you actually want? What would be the bow on this to really give you that transformation? Then you build that as your high ticket once it's proven.
Yeah. I think something else too is, I feel like it's really easy to get caught up in like what you're doing and like your products, but you have to remember that your audience is probably made up of a lot of different like communities of people. You're going to have people who like have never heard of what you're talking about before.
True.
You're going to have people that are like kind of experienced, and then you're going to have people who are like, game on, I'm ready to take this to the next level. Like, I know I want to be a paying customer. So it's almost like these are also for those people too. Like, maybe your low ticket product is like for the very beginners, because someone out there I know right now is probably like, well, I don't know what I would make first. And my question would be like, hey, have you done this for like a couple months? Have you built some sort of following? And if the answer is yes, we'll talk about your first 60-day learnings. Talk about that. And that's your low ticket product. And then you go from there, right? Because there is someone who was in your shoes, who's probably in your audience and who wants that information. What I will say too is, if you're doing any form of one-to-ones, one-to-one offerings or coaching, please make them expensive. There's nothing that's as valuable as your time. There's high ticket products out there. There's courses, that are hundreds of dollars, but no one can talk back to a course, right?
True.
Like, having information that is specific to you and only you is invaluable. People love that, because most of the time people just want someone to be that support system and to walk them through personalized next steps. So, not saying you need to go crazy or anything, but that should definitely be on the higher end of the products that you're marketing, because it also sets a precedent of like, this person's time is valuable.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, 100%. And then also, because you can be putting more of your time back into building things that give you more time freedom, right? Like we've talked about passive versus the active income. And so if you get stuck constantly in active income, you won't have the time or energy to build more of these passive systems that Stan gives you the tools to do. And that's what when people talk about the creator dream, that's what I see in my mind. It's like, I want to get to a place where I'm making money while I sleep, I'm providing value while I sleep, and you need to have time to actually do those things.
Yes. Yeah, 100%. And it's figuring out what that looks like for you and what your audience responds well to. But exactly that. I think for some folks it's a balance. For some folks it's just passive income. It's whatever works best for you and your audience and kind of what they're looking for, and tailoring your offerings, around that.
100%. Yeah, no, that's I don't have anything else to say. You put a bow on that beautifully. Is there anything else that you wanted to show us today in the walkthrough?
I feel like I'm gonna 20 minutes from now be like, shoot, I forgot about something, but I don't think so. I think that wraps everything up quite nicely. I guess just quickly, as I'm looking at all the tabs here, obviously we went through the products, we went through Creator versus Creator Pro, the difference there. You have an income tab as well that allows you to track how much you're earning and what products are earning you money. And then also you have analytics too, where Don't judge my analytics, right? I just use my page as an example, but
Yeah.
your revenue, your store visits, leads, product page views, a click breakdown, which is not too crazy for me. But you can also look at like a traffic source as well, depending on what social platform you're maybe like talking about your products on. You can look at who's responding best to that. Your conversions as well. So, okay, when someone goes onto your stand store, are they actually buying something? So lots of valuable information in there. An audience tab as well, where there's a lot of different components in there. You can grant folks like access to a course or a product. You can issue refunds, anything you need. That's kind of all the audience is in there. And then I think we pretty much went through the rest of them. But that, I think, sums it up. Best practices.
Sweet.
And a walkthrough of Stan.
Absolutely. No, that was awesome. Thank you so much, Lauren. And one other question I had at the top. So the Stan link at the top, can you adjust the URL of that? Like, could you use a custom URL if you owned one, or does it have to be a Stan.store URL?
Great question. So if you've purchased a custom domain, I've worked with a couple folks that just like reroute the domain to their Stan store.
Okay, brilliant. Okay.
Yep.
Super cool.
So awesome. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. And then if the cost is the issue right now as to why you can't go into it, I think a great option that you covered is that every Stan user gets an affiliate link. So if you were to sign up and even refer 5 people, you now have it for free. Right.
Yes.
So it's like, that's, yeah, absolutely. For sure. Yeah. It covers the cost of coming in every month. So yeah, no, that's awesome, Lauren. I think that was all the questions that I had. Thanks for walking through it completely. And if anyone watching this wants to sign up for Stan, you can do so using the link in the description box and the pinned comment of this video. And if you have any questions, be sure to comment them. I will try to answer them myself. And if I can't, I will bug Lauren to help me with the response.
Please do. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for your time, Lauren.
Awesome. Thank you.